Listen, I've been requesting an Eddie's $1 million cook-off sequel for a super great length of time. I just didn't know he was gonna be this depressing. We Live in Time, directed by John Crowley. It is the newest romance depressing movie out this year. It stars Florence Pugh and Andrew Garfield. And yeah, it's as advertised. So let's talk about the categories and give it a score. Let's talk about acting. You get Andrew Garfield, you get Florence Pugh. Yeah, I mean, it's a movie about their relationship and how it grows and how the obstacles that they face and how they deal with them as a couple. And yeah, they both do absolutely phenomenal. I'm glad Andrew Garfield is getting these roles and getting his flowers because he is a really talented actor and he has been known to do really great roles, especially when it comes to having a lot of emotional weight to him. And then you have Florence Pugh, who's, she's just her. I mean, she's absolutely amazing. I remember seeing her in Little Women and in Midsummer and going, yeah, like she's going to be her, she's going to be absolutely amazing. And yeah, there's no doubt that she does the same thing here. Both of their chemistries are really what helps the film kind of move forward and makes the relationship believable, and they do a great job on screen. You really do feel for these characters. You feel for who they are as people as well as their relationship and the decisions they make. So you have to give a lot of credit for that. When it comes to any of these side characters / supporting actors, yeah, there's not really much that goes into it. There are some interesting people here and there, but they're not giving any groundbreaking performances. That kind of surprises me. Now, of course, that's not what their job is with this film. This film is supposed to be centered around two people and their relationship and how they deal with their obstacles. So I'm not going to really worry about the supporting characters as much as I normally would nitpick about. So with that being said, I'm going to make it very simple, make it very easy. We Live in Time, 1 star in the acting category. When it comes to the visuals, it kind of leaves a lot to be desired. There's nothing stunning. There's nothing crazy beautiful that you're going for. I was honestly waiting for the freaking horse to show up. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. And I get him for like half a frame. And I'm like, hey, there he is. And then he wasn't in it anymore. And in that same sequence, they do something with the frame rate that I haven't seen since the early 2000s. And I don't like it. It's yucky. Yes, I said yucky. And I don't know if I regret it or not, but it was yucky. The lighting, the look of the film is pretty kind of bare bones basic. But there's also nothing wrong with that either. But there's also nothing that I'm kind of like, holy crap, that was stunning. So with all that being said, with it kind of just playing it safe, I'm just going to give it a 0.5 star in this category. Now let's talk about the audio. I can hear it clearly, but the score is, I don't remember it. Like, I remember more of scores from movies that I had seen beforehand that I don't remember too much on this one. And that's kind of unfortunate because, I don't know, sometimes I feel like, especially in these romance, sad, sappy movies, I need some sort of theme that I can constantly remember and go, yeah, I remembered how sad that was. So there wasn't anything that was tugging at my heartstrings when it comes to that, because when you are making a sad, sappy movie, it's not only what you see on screen and what's being said on screen, but also what you hear from said screen / speakers. Not the screen, but the speakers. And when you don't have all those things cohesively working, some moments do fall flat. So with that being said, I'm just going to give it a 0.5 star in this category. I don't think it truly kind of grips me like I hope it would. Story, because this story is sad. I remember when the trailer came out and I was already like halfway through it being like, yeah, I'm going to be sad. I might shed a couple tears. And yeah, it did just that. The film is not an easy watch, especially knowing that they do play with time. They don't put this film in a linear fashion. You're not going to watch it and expect the characters to grow and things to happen, and then you have the fallout of it. You kind of get it right at the start, and you kind of go, well, what's going to happen? And it does it very, very well because it makes you kind of question what these characters' decisions are going to be, how they met, how this occurs, how this becomes a thing. There's so many questions and they get answered, and they get answered kind of in the order that you kind of hope. There's nothing about the story that I absolutely hate. The characters are selfish when they need to be selfish. Like, they're not making decisions that are so stupid that you kind of sit and go, hey, why are you doing that? No, they're making them with a lot of things on their plate, and it makes sense for who the characters are. The sacrifices each character makes during the whole entire film makes sense for their characters. There's a lot of films out there that seems like their characters are a little disconnected from who they are as people, and decisions are kind of just made for the sake of it's a movie and you're not really affecting lives. But this film seems like it's a sneak peek into actual humans that are actually having a relationship and actually going through all these issues. So with that, I give it kudos. I give it a big thumbs up because in the story category, I'm going to give it a full star. It does everything you need it to do. And if you are an easy crier, you'll probably cry at this. Unfortunately, no tears were shed on my part. It doesn't mean that it wasn't sad and depressing, especially that ending. Man. And then we talk about enjoyment, because even though I have high praise for the actors, even though I have high praise for the story, visually and audibly, the film, of course, lacks a couple things that kind of have me truly disconnected. This was one of my most anticipated movies coming into this year because not only did I love Brooklyn, which John Crowley did, but, I love Andrew Garfield, love Florence Pugh. I was like, great, we're going to get a brilliant piece. And then when the trailer was finally released, I was like, yeah, this is what I want. To the point to where I went to go see a really late showing of it to see it early because I have things planned that I'm going to do. So there's all these things that I did just to see this film. And I will say, I walked out a little disappointed. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad film because it's a good film. It's really good. It just, to me, lacked a couple things that I just wish were there. One, of course, is being that central score theme that's iconic. It doesn't have to be completely memorable where it's like Star Wars or like the Avengers theme. It doesn't need to be on that level or playing field. But it does need to give that complete sense of sadness, depression, hope, all those emotions. And I just don't think the score did that enough. Then, of course, like I said, visually, the film is kind of just bland. It's kind of just basic. They played it really safe. There are a couple shots in there that are really, really cool, but there's nothing in there that kind of screams, holy crap, that looks stunning. And I know a lot of people are going to say, well, they don't need it to be this score that's amazing. It doesn't need to be this film that's visually great. And you know what? I've kind of turned a different leaf over the past few months, and I kind of say, why not? Why can't things be beautifully, visually, audibly, actingly, storingly, like enjoymently? Why can't they be everything all bundled up into one? Why does it have to be a one-trick pony? So with the enjoyment category, well, I'm honestly just going to give it a half a star. Like I said, I left the theater kind of going, yeah, there's a lot more to be desired with this film. So if you're keeping track at home, We Live in Time scores a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I think the film is good. You'll enjoy it if you like romance movies. You'll hate it if you hate romance movies. But I do think that there are better ones out there in the whole entire world. But it's still a good watch, and I think still a must-watch of this year. We Live in Time, 3.5 out of 5. Good movie.